I'm going to cover how to use Google Forms to track student attendance on e-learning days. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to open up a new Google form. So I'm going to go up here to the Google Apps, click on it, and I'm going to search for Google Forms. When Google Forms opens up, my screen may look a little bit different than yours. Don't worry about that. I've got some templates in the template gallery that I've saved. But what I want you to do is go into the general templates and just start with a form that's already there for you. I'm going to use the contact information. Open up the form. You can change this however you like. I'm going to suggest that we start by making a separate form for each one of your sessions. I'm going to call this Session 1, Attendance. I'm going to use the same name here. And I'm going to modify this form just a little bit. I'm going to make this say last name. And it's going to give me an opportunity for the students to fill in a short answer. And I want to click this to make it a required. The student has to respond or they can't go forward. So then I'm going to add another first name. Again, I'm going to change that to short answer. I'm going to make it required. Even though this says it's Session 1 attendance, I want to just build in a method to verify the information. So I'm going to put in a question. I'm going to say not multiple choice, but check boxes. Session 1, Session 2, Session 3. And I'm going to require that. The next question is going to say email. I don't need to use this in this form because I'm going to show you a way that we can make this form collect emails automatically. So I don't want this question in my form, so I'm just going to delete it. I don't want the address. I'm going to delete it. I don't want the phone number because I'm checking daily attendance. I don't need their phone number for daily attendance. I'm going to delete it. What I am going to do, though, is I'm going to add a new question. And I'm going to say enter today's date. And I'm going to require that. So the student has to put in the date. And under comments here, I'm going to change this comment question to an opportunity for students to post any questions that they have from the previous day. Post any questions that you have from previous days here. And you can change and make that question be anything that you want. And I'm going to leave it as a paragraph so they can actually make a pretty long response in there. I'm not going to require it so that if a student doesn't want to post any kind of a question, if they don't have a question, they don't have to. And that is my form. So that's all you need to do. And your form is already created. Now, what I'm going to caution you here is go to your settings. And this is where we can modify some things. Number one is I want to collect email addresses. I do want to restrict it to users in the Wilco ACC and trusted organizations. And I probably want to do that because I'm requiring students to log into their Google Classroom using their Wilco ACC email address. What I've learned is if you don't click this and somehow this form goes out there to a student who's using a different domain, in other words, they're logged into their home school's Google Classroom, and they try to submit this form, it's going to send you an email saying, student has requested permission, something to that effect. And so it's a dual process, and it gets confusing for the student, it gets confusing for the teacher. So I'm just going to restrict it to all users in the Wilco ACC trusted organization, which means the wilcoacc.org email. I'm going to uncheck limited to one response because I want to use this form over and over and over again each day. So if I would limit this form to one response, it would only open once, and I could never reuse this form. I don't want students to be able to submit after editing, or edit after submitting rather. They don't need to see any charts or responses. I am going to just double check and make sure that this is not checked as a quiz. It's not a presentation, so I go back to my general and I'm going to save it. And that's all you have to do. From here, you can exit out. It's saved. It's in your Google Drive. It belongs to you. Now what I can do is I'm in my Google Classroom and I can create even though it's a quiz assignment, it's not really an assignment. So let's use material. And let's put in there, I'm going to make it Monday's attendance. Let's just call it attendance. Monday, March 16, 2020. And now I'm going to add my form. I go to Google Drive. It should pop up and show me because it's a recent. It's the most recent, so it should show it. There it is, my session 1. Now, I can list it in a topic if I'm putting it in my weekly assignments. I can put it in by week, or I can put it in. Right now, we don't have any topics listed, but I could make a topic. I'll just do it for week 11. I'll just put it in the week 11. It's going to go to all students, and I'm going to post it. I've changed my mind. I'm just going to make this attendance forms. And I'm going to post it. And it automatically posted. Now, here's what you can do. A little shortcut. I want to create an attendance form for every single day that the students are out this week. So I can go to create, reuse my post. It's in my e-learning classroom. Here's the form. I click on it. I reuse it. It's thinking. I'm going to change it to Tuesdays. March 17. Only this time, instead of posting it, I'm going to schedule it. I'm going to schedule it to open up on Tuesday the 17th at 8 o'clock a.m. That way the student can't fill out the form ahead of time. So there's Tuesdays. Reuse it. Once again, I'm going to make this Wednesday. The 18th. Attendance forms. Schedule. Make that 18. Schedule. So this, once again, the students are not going to see this form because it's not going to open up until the 18th. So I'm going to let you try. You can create your own form and add Tuesday or Thursday and Friday for the week. Good luck with it. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. And this will be posted in the e-learning Google Classroom.